everybody, welcome back to today's lesson. I hope you're all rocking and rolling out there, and we're going to talk about the no time to practice routine. Now, this is not about necessarily putting a time limit on this, because if you have no time to practice, sometimes it's not that you don't have, some time available or the opportunity to make time, but it's just what you practice in that time. Sometimes not having a plan is the worst thing for your practice, because you end up just sitting there noodling with no objective, and that is where we end up just playing the same stuff over and over and over again. And hopefully some of these ideas are going to break this. So like I said, this isn't necessarily a time-based lesson, but just some things to give your practice some focus. So if you are a person who has no time to practice, that little bit of time that you might be able to find, we need to make the most of it. So if you want tabs for all this stuff, you can snag those down below in the description, and we are going to go ahead and get going on these. Alright, so the first thing that I want you to do, and this is a really, really killer thing to do, I talked about using triads in a couple of different lessons, but this would be a really nice challenge for you to mess around with, is to sit there and challenge yourself to find different chords on the guitar neck. So we're going to find A minor, and for an A minor, you simply need 3 notes. You need an A, an E, and a C. So anywhere you have those 3 notes, you have an A minor. So I could turn this down a little bit, because I think I'm rocking a little bit too much over here. There we go. So if I was to outline this one like I did in the tabs for you, it goes like this. All of those are A minors. Now, you could challenge yourself to either get to where you can play these really, really well, find A minors all over the place, but try to come up with different ways of moving throughout the scale and outlining these chords. So the first one that I did here was simply going 5 on the low E string, that's your A note. Then I went to C on the A, and then E on the D string. So it goes 5, 3, 2. Root, 3rd, 5th, right there. Okay? So there's your first A minor. Now the next one I gave you was this one. And you're gonna go, sorry, my guitar went out of tune. 7 on the D, 5 on the G, and 5 on the B. It is a little bit out of tune. I'll tune it here in a second. Okay, so there's that one. There we go. It's funny, I just made a video talking about how this guitar never goes out of tune. It goes out of tune. So we have those 2 right there. Now already we're covering a decent little chunk of ground, and what's cool is we know those are super solid notes because they're over the chord. So if maybe we're doing that rhythm that I did in the beginning. Boom, chord, and I just literally one note was our minor 7. That wasn't our chord right there. Right there. So maybe try incorporating these different triads into your normal pentatonic blues lick, something like that. Right there. Well, that's kind of box 5 of A minor. These aren't like, groundbreaking ideas or anything, but it's a building block, and I'm playing differently, much more diagonal than like the normal pentatonic boxes. So that's what. Boom, right there. Now the next one I gave you was this one right here, and like I said, these are all A minor chords, so it's super crucial to incorporate this kind of playing into your, guitar repertoire. I think we pretty much I've done this before in a couple other videos, but I focused on major chords. Now these are all minor. So, and there's a lot more than what I'm even showing you. So this one's gonna go to 9 on the G, 10 on the B, and then 8 on the high string. Okay, now notice how each time they're getting stacked a little bit different. I guess maybe not these first 2, root 3rd, 5th, root 3rd, 5th, but this one is actually starting on your 5th, your E note. Then it goes to your root, then it goes to your 3rd. And you can see how this is kind of out of your A minor box number 2. So when you're doing this little, like the BB box, That's why those notes all work and sound so good. Look at it. Of those 5 notes right there, 3 of them is out of that chord tone. Okay, so again, you know, I'm hitting those chord tones all over the place with this. So the next one that I gave you was all the way up here. It's one of my favorite ones to use. I use it all the time. I think it can really have that attitude to it. So this is simply going 14, 13, 12 on the high string. Okay, right there. That little like F chord shaped looking thing. Now what I like to do is I go, because that's your root note. So you're going root, 3rd, 5th. But like I said, you can go into, you know, something like that. Like you can give it that bluesiness if you want. So I use that one probably more than any of them when I'm thinking like more licks. Because I'll kind of be playing and I'll be like, I won't do that. I'll go. Because I might be thinking, you know, like kind of I'm in box 5 or whatever. You know, I'll just throw it in there all the time. And then what was the next one I gave you? Oh, right here. Just straight across the strings. So again, now we're starting on our 3rd, going to our 5th, going to our root. So it's just 17 on all 3 strings. And the more you familiarize yourself with this stuff, the more, you know, it becomes second nature to incorporate this, and you're just kind of playing. You know. So you can, like I said, it gets to where it adds a lot of flow, in my opinion, to kind of like if you've been more of a box player, which is fine. You know, the boxes are great. And then the final one, I gave you one all the way up here, which is 21 on the G, 22 on the B, and then 20 on the high string. If you have 24 frets, it's a little bit easier to get up here. Basically box 2 again, it's the same one. And so on. That's the first thing. Find a chord, outline it a bunch of ways, but you know, challenge yourself. Maybe outline how we did today. We were always ascending. Maybe outline always descending. Maybe outline all in one box. Like, just, I'm telling you, find those chord tones all over the place. If you want something to incorporate into your practice routine, if you have no time to practice the other stuff, you know, have this. This can add a lot of focus. All right, so in this section, I wanted to add something that, you know, a lot of times gets taken for granted. And it was a really, really big aha moment for me when I was learning scales, and just, I never understood. I'm like, how do these guys just know, like, oh, you're up here, this is your 3rd, this is your 5th, you know, that kind of thing. Like, oh, that's your 5th of A, you know, just like that kind of stuff, like threw me for a loop for a really long time. And what I did was I decided to focus on what I already knew at the time. And I mainly knew the pentatonic scale, not really the major and minor scale yet. I mainly knew pentatonics. And I was like, all right, well, I just need to memorize what these are. So I learned that this was your root. So we're going to be out of the key of A. It's your root. It's your minor 3rd. That's your 4. That's your 5. It's your minor 7. And those are the only 5 notes in a pentatonic scale. You know, pentatonic meaning 5. That's all we have to work with. I'm trying not to add like extra notes in there. I'm just trying to stay pentatonic. But so what I did to practice this, you know, I did the same thing when I learned the major scale. I would sit there and play all the positions of it, and I would say what I was playing. And I'm telling you what, if you're, you know, comfortable doing it, some people, you know, feel weird. They feel like, you know, people are listening to them or something, which is totally, you know, natural to feel uncomfortable playing in front of people or thinking someone else can hear you play. But I highly encourage saying what you're playing like this, because, you know, if you physically are saying the note, the more you can kind of connect to that note, the more sense it's going to make in your brain. So, like I said, let's do that again. So we have an A note, a C note, yes, a C note, jeez, I got sidetracked, a D, an E, and then we go to a G. So those are all 5 of our pentatonic notes, A, C, D, E, G. Boom, done, pentatonic scale. Now, there's two ways to practice this, knowing the note and the value of the note. So, that is knowing the note. Now, let's keep going through our pentatonic box. So we have another A, we have another C, we have another D, we have another E, we have another G, we have another A, we have... Hey! You notice something? I'm joking. I know what I'm talking about. But it's constantly in the same order. It's always going A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C. Look at it. A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G. It's always in that order. So if you know that, then work on going through the boxes. The only thing that changes is each box starts on a different note. It always follows that pattern, but instead of starting on A, we start on the C note for box 2. So it goes C, D, E, G, A. Look at it. Same order. It's everywhere. So, okay? So what did we play last time? So we started on A. What came after A? C. Then we go to D, then we go to E, then we go to G, then we go back to A. It never stops the pattern. Okay, after A was, oh look, C, D. Start over again here. Okay, do this for all of your boxes. You know, I'm telling you, this helps you know the fingerboard so much better, understanding where these notes are. I think it's so crucial. Especially if you're a person who already knows your pentatonics. Like, you can know the pentatonic scale and still not know the pentatonic scale. You know, because if you're just playing the scale and not knowing what the actual value and actual note is, you know, you're missing out on a whole other world of the scale. So, for example, now we did it that way. But now let's talk about the actual note value. We have the name of the note. The value is different. That is going to be your root, your minor third, minor 7, maybe it's your 2, maybe it's a 4, all kinds of that stuff. Basically, the pentatonic scale is from the major scale, which consists of 7 notes. Now, we're not going to dive too much if you don't know about that kind of stuff. Trust me, these are the notes. So we're starting on our root note. Now, the next note, which is C, that's your minor third. The next note is D, which is your 4. The next note is is E, which is your 5, and then the next note is your G, which is your minor 7. Now, if you continually say this as you're going through the scale, you will get to where you see them, because certain notes have certain sounds. You don't always have to resolve things to a root. A lot of, you might notice that I like to resolve to, it's not really resolving, but I'm ending on my minor 7. I love that sound, or, end on your third. Boom, right there. Like, I'm not ending on my root every single time, but I know that those are really strong notes that I can end on if I want to. So I might, that was ending on my root that time. Maybe I'll, boom, ended on my major third that time. I guess I kind of bent up, but boom, major third. And that's just because I know where those notes are. So, when I see the scale, I see the scale, I see the chords, and then I like the triads, and then I also see, like, oh, okay, these are all my major thirds, these are all my fifths, these are all this stuff. And it helps you play very confidently. So if I'm playing, and I want to go to that minor 7. And the final one I thought I would give you is a little bit more of a technique exercise kind of thing. And it's basically just taking 2 pentatonic boxes and, shifting through them and using all 4 fingers. So the idea is this. There we go, look, I got right down to that minor 7. I'm basically using 2 boxes. I'm using box 1 and box 2. So I'm going to go 5 to 8 on the low E string, and then 5 to 7 on the A. Now, if you're a player like me who uses these 3 fingers a lot, you got to kind of cut that out for this exercise, because we are going to be utilizing our pinky every single time that there is a 4-note stretch. So we're going to go 5, 8, 5, 7. So that's pointer, pinky, pointer, ring. Now we shift up to box number 2, and we do the top 2 strings in there. 8, 10, so middle pinky, and then 7, 10, pinky, index pinky. So shift back to box 1. 5-7, 5-7. Shift back up to box 2, 7-10, 7-10. So using my pinky. And I go back to box 1, 5-7 again. Shift up, and I go 7-10 with my pinky. 7-9, ring finger. Okay, so you get these transitions on. It's just really good for getting your hand moving back and forth. So we're gonna go back down, starting on the G this time. 5-7, 5-8. Okay. Right there. Then you're gonna go 7-9 on the G, 8-10. Now look at the fingers I'm using here. I'm going pointer, ring, middle, pinky. A really good one to practice. Okay, shift down again, 5-8 on the B and high string. I'm going pointer, pinky, and then I go 8-10, which I'm gonna use my pointer and ring finger. So all together again, we have this. Maybe. So one thing to kind of focus on here is also I'm alternate picking. You know, this is very strict on the alternate side. But you know, you can work on just individual shapes. If a certain one gives you trouble, then that means that this exercise is a great one to do because you're going to get your fingers used to moving in a different way now. So that is going to be it, guys. Just these 3 real quick ones here. And I don't know how quick the video is. Look, I'm looking at it right now. It says 24 minutes, so I guess it wasn't that quick. But I wanted to take my time and go through those. So hopefully you dig maybe me diving a little bit more into the stuff. If you don't, it's totally fine. I can keep them short and simple. But other than that, guys, like I said, get the free fretboard decoder course, get the tabs, and I'll be seeing you next time. So have a good rest of your weekend or whatever day this video gets posted. I can't remember. But I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Whoop!